estate is the name of the game. That's at least what I've come to believe, and I know many Canadians agree. Have you ever thought about how many Canadians actually own real estate in Canada, like a place to live in or investment property for someone else to live in? It is, out of our 12,400,000 homes that are in Canada, households that are in Canada, not homes, but 12,400 households, did you know that 8.5 million, did I get that right? 8.5 million actually own the home they're living in. So that's approximately 2/3 of Canadians own the home that they live in, and the other third rent a property from someone else that owns it. And we're going to say that in the Canadian market, there is some investment from outside the country, and the vast majority of Canadian properties are actually owned by Canadians, which is kind of interesting. And then, this is the part that I found kind of fascinating, because I thought, well, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to me? What does that mean to anybody? Because have you ever thought about owning an investment property? Maybe you've thought about it. Maybe you've said for years, I'm going to do it. Maybe you already did it. Maybe you have a whole bunch of them. Like, what is it? Do you have a whole bunch of investment properties? Have you just been thinking about having an investment property? Or have you said, based on the horror stories you've heard about renters, you'll never have an investment property? And yet what I realize is I've been a renter. I've been a tenant. And who's been a tenant? If not now, at some point in their life. And so somebody had to buy that investment property. So do you realize that 1 in 20, 5% of Canadians own investment property? Kind of neat. Some form of rental income property. And so if you're saying, well, what's it got to do with me? Well, it has everything to do with you, because if you haven't already taken the plunge, you may want to, because 1/3 of Canadians need somewhere to live because they don't own the home that they're living in. So one of the things that Ken did years ago is he wrote a book called The Wealth Formula, and we've run a big series of workshops around investing in real estate, and lots of people have taken the action, and you can actually do so much. Have you ever found, if you are an investor, that you can do so much to reduce the risk of those bad rental stories? Like the first one, I'll give you the first tip, and that's just go with your gut. Because every time I've chosen to go against my gut in terms of who I rented to, it has backfired. So go with your gut is a great tip. And if you haven't taken action on owning an investment property, or maybe you own 1 or 2 or 5 and you're ready for more, then the best time to do it, you've heard this said before, the best time to do it is today. Because if you didn't do it yesterday, then today's a better day than tomorrow. Because they are going up in value, and somebody else is paying off your mortgage, and you're building equity. And there's 3 ways to make income from investment properties. So if you're curious about that, give me a call. You know how to get me. Or private message me, tag me. And if you're saying, well, I'd like to understand more, I'm not really ready to take the plunge yet, it's kind of scary, and I concur. Before we bought our first investment properties over 20 years ago, it was a scary thing. And now, years later, it is an amazing thing. I would just tell you again and again how great an opportunity it is, providing you make good decisions. You get sound counsel, you do your research. So if you have questions, you're wondering what to do, connect with me. And listen to some upcoming episodes of the Inside Track on Real Estate, where we'll go just again deeper on the whole idea of owning investment properties. So ask me what questions you have so I know exactly what to answer on the show. So share in your comments, and then just share your own stories, because your stories, in fact, in the coming 2 months, we're going to have a couple of our amazing investor clients come on air and share their personal stories around their reluctance to getting into investing, and then how it worked out for them. Some people are excited about it from the time they were born, which is my son Ryan. From the time he was, I say born, but the time he was 4, he started thinking about investing and wanted to invest, and sure enough, did it. If you're like that, fantastic. We can still teach you a few tips, I believe, and some things to do to make it an even better thing. And if it's you were more like me, which was huge reluctance. It took me until my 30s to take the plunge, to be able to invest in beyond my own principal home. So if you're curious, you know what to do. Comment, share, and ask your questions so we can get them answered for you, so that you're not holding back needlessly.